Somebody got this really low for me. Thank you. I feel tall with this. Put it low. Let me raise it just a bit. But, you know, we have prayer here in the mornings. We have it at Tuesday night. We pray. God has really put in my heart as a believer that we pray. We pray at home, we pray, but we dedicate prayer and we come and just the Lord's been really speaking to my heart, speaking to me, hearing His voice as you dedicate yourself to Him. And every morning at 6 He's been getting me up. Well, I don't know, I can't remember when was it. It was Monday. We were praying, and there was a few people here. God just brought them, and we were praying. And you know, I know God's already healed my knees and everything. And this last week it's challenging because I can't stand. And I've never said anything. I've never said anything. One of the biggest things, I heard another testimony that someone was going through a heavy, heavy challenge, but he never said it. He never said anything negative about it. He always kept himself positive. He always just kept saying, God, you're going to come through this. And I've been the same way. Been encouraged. And so after service on Sunday, I couldn't stand. My knees have always been hurting. We prayed. We thanked the Lord for my knees. I got healed. And it was great. And, you know, I just continued, just push through it. And thank the Lord for my healing. And thanking Him, Lord, I just thank You for my new knees. I just thank You for my new knees every day. But that Monday, we were here praying. And then someone got the oil. And they were listening to the Lord, and they got the oil, and they touched my knees. Man, God, the moment she touched my knees, I felt strength. I felt new knees. I felt those powerful. And man, ever since that day, I had to go. That was just thanking God. I had to go put some ceiling fans. God gave me an opportunity to make some extra money. Amen. Praise the Lord. And He wanted some ceiling fans. Well, you know what? There weren't ceiling fans in low. There were ceiling fans up high. So I had to climb up a ladder and down. And now I work with that pain. But man, you know what? My knees did not hurt that whole day. I've been running around all day. I've been thanking the Lord all day. Man, I just jumping up and down. And I said, Lord, thank You for these knees, new knees. But man, I have been so excited. And God is doing something big. There's testimonies. Every day people are giving testimonies. Something's happening, guys. God is doing what He said He's going to do as believers. And I've just been excited about that. So listen, we've been in the book of Acts. And Acts is what this church is about. It's the church of today, the church of Acts. Amen? Praise the Lord. Well, listen, now I got this little funny for the girls. Women, look at this. One day, Eve was walking in the garden with the Lord. She said, Lord, the garden is wonderful, and the animals and the birds provide such joy, but I'm still lonely sometimes. No problem, the Lord replied. I will make you a man for a companion. He will desire to please you and to be with you, but I have to warn you, he won't be perfect. He'll have a difficult time understanding your feelings. He'll tend to think only of himself and stay out late with his bowling buddies. What's bowling, Eve asked. Oh, never mind. I was just getting ahead of myself. Thanks. Okay, I think I can handle this, man, Eve said. Great. I'll get right to it, God said, and started grabbing some mud and shaping it. The Lord stopped and said to Eve, oh, there's one thing about this man I'm making for you. What's that? Eve said. You have to tell him he was first. Amen. Well, listen. God is so good to us. So listen, let's say this together. Say, I'm anointed. I'm anointed. I'm appointed. I'm appointed. I'm approved. I'm approved. I'm equipped. I'm equipped. I've been chosen. Set apart. Set apart. Destined. Destined. To live in victory. To live in victory. That's yours, that's mine, that's our destiny. And God, as He gave, like He said, He gave His only begotten Son. He gave His best to us. And the reason He gave His best, so that you and I can live the best here on earth. And the way we do it is by believing. We've got to believe. We've got to believe that nothing is impossible with God. There is nothing impossible. What are you believing God for today? What is God doing in your life today? And you know, as I was watching, anybody been watching the NBA Finals? Praise the Lord. Yeah, okay, maybe not everybody's a basketball player. But listen, I was watching the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they are going for the finals. They had 2 overtimes the first game. And man, they're playing with a little bit more intensity. They're playing with a little bit more fire, more passion. You know, they play 80, 60, 160 games. I don't know what the season is, but they play a lot of games. But in the finals, that's why I like watching the finals. That's why I like watching the playoffs, because they play with a little bit more intensity. They're a little bit more passionate. There's more on the line for this, because this is for the championship. So they're playing stronger. They're diving for the ball. They're getting excited, and they're just, man, to where they went to overtime. And I was getting excited. You know, the Lord speaks to you when you're watching a game. He speaks to me all the time when the Dallas Cowboys will play. He says, son, don't make that an idol. But you know, the thing is that when I was watching the game, the Lord said, see how they're playing? This is a championship game. They're playing with a little bit more fire, intensity, and passion. You know why? Because there's something on the line. You know, we as believers, we got to be playing the kingdom of God. We got to be living for God with a little more passion, with a little bit more intensity, because it's on the line. We're in the final days. We're in this last hour. That's why God is pouring out His power, and He's wanting people to know, listen, you've got to get on fire. You've got to get a little bit more intense. There's something on the line. There's people's souls on the line right now. And if you're not doing your job, you know what? He needs people to get in the game. And stop just watching the game and get into the game, because we are in those last final hours. We're playing in overtime. And people, they're tired of church. They're tired of what's going on. They want to see something. And they want to know that, is this really real? Does God really still do this? And we're over here showing them, well, I don't know, maybe not. And we're not even in the game. Where's your passion? Where's your love? Where's your desire to see God move like He said? We're supposed to be blessed beyond compare. When the world's going down, we're going up. We got to live this life, but how do we do it? Well, we've been talking about Acts. Look at Acts chapter 5. This is championship material. And you know, I saw, what's his name? LeBron James. I saw him when he won that last second game. Just, man, I never seen someone so passionate, excited because he won. And he saw it was a tight game. Listen, we should get that excited when we see somebody get a car. We should get that excited when we see someone come to Jesus. Somebody getting saved. Listen, we should get excited when signs, wonders, and miracles. We should say, yes. Another one, Lord, who's next? Who's next, Lord? Who am I going to? Who am I going to minister to? Who am I going to touch today? Lord, I'm going to snatch somebody out of the hands of the devil and put them in God's hand. And we've got to be excited, because you have this power. You've got something on the inside. People have been praying for Sister Piedad, and supernaturally, she was supernaturally healed. Amen. Supernaturally, my knees, supernaturally. I said, Lord, I've been praying this for a long time. He goes, well, you didn't quit. You didn't quit. If you don't quit, you win. Because I am not a God that lies. What I said, I'll do. Now watch. In Acts chapter 5, we've been talking about great power. We've been talking about great grace. We've been talking about unity. We've got to get in unity. We've got to stay together in this. We've got to come expecting to receive from God unity. God said, where the brothers and sisters dwell together in unity, I command and I order the blessing to come. And it starts from the head down to the body, to the feet. It doesn't start from the feet to the head. It starts from the head. So head, if you are desiring to be in leadership, you've got to get in unity with the vision. You've got to get in unity with what God is doing. And I've seen the Lord this man has a desire to build my church. This man he keeps calling me and telling me, listen, he's designing it. And he's showing me, look, this is what we're going to do. And I told him, what do you need next? I said, well, I need to show it to the people. I need a little video, a little presentation. I need a little model of it. He goes, okay, you got it. And I said, well, how am I going to pay you? He goes, don't worry about paying me right now. He says, God has put this desire in my heart so he can get all the honor and all the glory. Yeah. He's going to do it. He's more excited about it than I am. I said, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be more excited than him. And he says, it's a vision, it's a dream. When God told me about this church, it was a vision, it was a dream, and I just kept going for it, and God did it. He says, now it's time to see, because people need to see this. How are you going to pay for it? You know what? I didn't even pay for this. He's going to pay for it. But in Acts, look at Acts chapter 5, in verse 12. And through the hands of the apostles, many signs and wonders were among the people. And they were all with what? One accord. Where were they? In Solomon's porch. They were at a place of gathering. They were at the church. They were right in Solomon's, where they would gather together and they were coming in agreement, and signs and wonders were happening. And look at this. Watch this. Go to 14. And believers were increasingly added to the Lord, multitudes of both men and women, so that they brought the sick out into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, that at least the shadow of Peter passing by might fall on some of them. Verse 16. Also a multitude gathered from the surrounding cities to Jerusalem, bringing sick people and those who were tormented by unclean spirits. And they were what? All. How many? All what? Healed. They were all healed. There were signs and wonders. People were coming. They were going to the cities. They were going out there. The people, believers, your believer, were so excited that you had to go find somebody that was sick and bring them here. Somebody that was tormented by an evil spirit and bring them here, because you knew that if you could get them to a place where the place was shaken, where the Holy Spirit was moving, that God was going to heal them. Yes. And you're not the healer, God's the healer. But you believe. You believe. You come to a place in your heart that you believe that God is supernatural and He's going to do it. And as I was meditating on that, I said, Lord, that's powerful. But Lord, what is it that causes that? And it's the Word. The Word has to get out. And He showed me, do you know that there's 3 hospitals? 3 hospitals within a 10-mile radius here. There's Round Rock, right there on 620, St. David's. There's Scott and White. There's Seton back here. There's hospitals at every corner because people are sick and they need to go. And He says, you're right in the middle where you need to be, because word's out. The word is out. If the hospitals can't help you, come over here to this hospital where it's a center of healing. It's a place where you can go when the doctors give up, come to abundant faith. Wow. When the doctors can't help you and they're passing through here, well, the doctors say can't pass through. They're even going to say, hey, why don't you try abundant faith? We can't help you anymore. I'm sorry, but things are happening at abundant faith. And people are getting healed, delivered, and set free. Man, He's putting us right in the middle where we need to be.
That's it.
And I remember when
that's it right there.
I want this place to be a hospital.
Jesus. Wow.
He goes, what kind of church do you want? I said, Lord, I want a church that's a hospital for the sick. Mm-hmm. That they can come. those that are broke, those that are busted, those that are disgusted, those that are hurting, those that are struggling and addicted, and there's no hope for them. And they say, man, there's nothing, nobody, the doctors can't help me with my addictions. They can't help me with my problems. Listen, there's a place called Abundant Faith that you can go and they can get healed and delivered.
There you go.
You have to believe it.
Yes.
Because you are that church.
Wow.
It's not me. It's not the building. It's you.
Yes.
The believers, that they believed it so much, they had their friend that was crippled and couldn't walk. He was in a bed, paralyzed. And they said, come on, we got to take you. Jesus is over here at this place. Oh, come on. And they couldn't get him, so they all got together and they picked him up in the bed. And they get to the church and they can't even get in because it's so crowded. And they said, man, we got to get you in there. They didn't quit. They didn't stop because they couldn't get him to see Jesus. You know what they did? They got on the roof and they made a hole on the roof and they brought him down. And there he is. Jesus saw their faith. You just got to get them to a place of faith. You got to get them to a place where you believe it. Mm-hmm. And God honors your faith.
Jesus.
We've been talking about giving in those 4 Sundays, 4 types of giving, and you guys really believed it. I said, I was sharing it, and I said, Lord, you know, he says, take a second off. Nah, another offering. He says, no, but you got to tell them, and then believe it, and I'm going to do something with it. And you know, everybody gave. There was over $1,000 given on that second offering. Yeah. And I said, wow, these people believe this stuff. They're believing, and watch what supernatural miracles are going to happen. Because see, we're in it, guys. We're all in. We're not doing it because we have to. We're doing it because we believe this stuff. This is the way believers live. We live by faith and not by sight. We walk by faith and not by sight. I'm telling you, my knees are just so healed. Praise God.
Amen.
Stop thanking God all night.
Yeah.
I was so excited. You don't know the pain I was going through for the last 8 months. Nobody knew. I didn't tell everybody, hey, my knees. People would pray. I said, you know, just pray for my knees. And people would pray, and the pain would go away. And I would say, okay, thank you. And then again. And I said, no, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to keep thanking you, Lord. Thank you. But man, I'm telling you, this Monday, it all went boom. Praise God.
Jesus.
So, and I said, Lord, we are a place where people, when they go, and see, we don't have to put it on the radio. We don't have to put it on, you know, Jesus says, don't tell anybody.
Amen.
Jesus, don't tell anybody. Don't go be, just let the word get out. Amen. There's healing in abundant faith. Just let the word. God's going to get the glory. God's going to get the praise. God's going to get all the glory and the honor. And so we're not here to magnify. Look, I come to this place. No. We're here to get excited. Because God wants to use you to bring somebody to Christ. And see, then he took me, go right here. Go to John. John chapter 12. Now, in verse 9, look what it says. Now a great many of the Jews knew that he was there. Look at this. The Jews, they knew where Jesus was. They knew. See, word gets out. Word gets out. Man, people know. Look at God. Showed me. I had a friend that he wanted to get set free from his drug addiction. He had a drug addiction. He says, man, Pastor, and he was, I remember, and he lived in Houston. And I'm here in Austin, and my wife and I, we love this guy. He used to serve the Lord, but he fell into his addiction again. And I didn't know this, but my heart was crying out for him. It was crying out. And I said, well, you know what? This guy, I remember he had a drug addiction. And I wonder how he's doing. God's been putting him in my heart. And she goes, you know what? Let's go see him. We're here in Austin. And she says, well, you know what? I feel the same thing. Let's go see him. I said, man, you want to go to Houston? go to Houston anyways. It's Friday. We're going, so we go to Houston. And at the same time, he was standing outside his house and he said, Lord, I'm tired of living like this. I'm tired of my addiction. It keeps getting, I can't get set free. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't want to live anymore. And I can't get rid of this addiction, Lord. I wish you would send somebody. If you would send Artie. He called me Artie. If you would send Artie over here. And guess what? 30 minutes later, I showed up there. I showed up. He said, man, what? God, that's God. God answered his prayer. I said, you know what? We came over and goes, you know what? I've been wanting to say, I can't get set free from this. I wanted to leave. I want to change my life. Can I go live with you? Come on, brother, get in. We got in his house. We loaded him up. We got him in the thing. We took him here. We brought him over here to Austin. He lived with us. He was getting set free. And listen, watch. God showed me this. He goes, you know what? He goes, he didn't know anybody here. So he couldn't find any drugs. See, in Houston, the word's out. You know where to get the drugs. Word out, especially if you're a drug addict. Everybody knows, you know what store to go to, you know where to talk to. You just go into a place and then they'll just make yourself known, and then boom, it's like it attracts. Oh, you need something, I know where to go. And they'll just, he didn't know nobody. He got here, and he said, man, he started getting tempted, and he went out to a place, and he just said something, hey man, looking for drugs, boom. Go over here, words out. And the next thing I know, he's over here getting wasted. I said, this guy was only here a week. Word's out. The word gets out. If you're looking for drugs, the word's out. The word, you'll find it, huh, Bill? You moved from El Paso, you came to Austin, you found it, didn't you? You guys know what I'm talking about. I never did drugs, so I don't know. But I'm telling you, you can find it. And so the Lord began to speak to me about this. He says, listen, when there's power moving, my power in my people, when word's going to get out, word's going to get out that, you know what, people that are sick, people that are hurting, people that are busted, word's out, man.
Jesus.
Word's out. Jesus is here. Jesus is
here. Amen.
They're going to go out and people can think they know about me, but I'm telling you, word is out.
There you go.
You hear some good things and you hear some bad things about Brother Faith. I'm telling you. You can find the bad things about it. But I'm telling you, you can find out good things. And watch this. And this is how God showed me. Look, verse 9. The Jews knew. They knew. Jews, now the Jews were mad. They knew that he was there. And they came, watch this, not for Jesus' sake only, but that they might also see who? Lazarus. They didn't just come because they knew Jesus was there. They wanted to come because of Lazarus. They already knew Jesus, man. They already knew Jesus everywhere he went. That power was flowing. But now, they're not even coming for Jesus. They're coming for this guy named Lazarus because they heard that he rose from the dead. They heard a testimony in this man who was dead and now is alive. And look what it says. They're eating. It says, whom he had raised from the dead. Now watch this, verse 10. But the chief priest plotted to put Lazarus, what? To death also. Because on account of him, many of the what? Jews went away and believed in Jesus. There was a testimony. This guy, they had to go, you know what? This guy rose. They went to see and they saw Lazarus because they must have saw Lazarus when he was dead for 4 days. They went to his funeral. They went and they saw that they wrapped him up and they put him in the tomb and they saw him and he died. And Martha and Mary were praying that Jesus would come, that he would live. And they probably looked like fools. Because man, I know if Jesus would show up, that Lazarus would live. Oh yeah, but Jesus. And they're saying that, and you imagine what they looked like. You know what? They didn't live. He didn't live. Look at that. Lazarus didn't live. They're probably saying, see, it didn't come through. But when you stand up for what you believe, when you're willing to die for what you believe, God is not going to embarrass you. And so they came, and look what it says, that many believed because of Jesus. You know who were the ones that wanted to plot to kill Jesus? It was the chief priest. It wasn't the world that wanted to kill Jesus. It was the religious people. It was the chief priest. It was the people in the church that wanted to kill Lazarus. They wanted to plot. You know what? Religion will damage. Religion will hurt, discourage. It'll cause pain in your life when you allow religion. It's not the world, because the world's going to come. They're going to come. They're going to say, man, is there hope for me? My friend ended up getting healed. He ended up getting saved. He's back living for Jesus. Because somebody believed that God could do the work. And so, what I'm saying to you today, religion will damage, hurt, bring pain and discouragement, because they always focus on the believer's testimony. See, they didn't focus on that Lazarus was alive. They were focused that he died, and they're looking at his testimony and they're wanting to kill him. They're not happy because, man, people are coming to Jesus. They're looking at something negative. See, if you go to 2 Corinthians in chapter 3, because when you're always focusing on a believer, you're going to see that they fall short. They fall short of the law. See, people who are religious, they don't purposely hurt other believers. They don't mean to, because they don't understand. They're trying to say, well, look at that brother. He says, you know, he's living, he's been raised, but he still falls. He's still falling to his addiction. When I brought this guy, he was still struggling. I could have said, forget you, man. I got you all the way over here, and you find the drug. How did you find it?
That's right.
But you don't quit on him because he falls and he finds the drug. You say, you know what, God's going to do something. I'm believing in you. I believe in you. And God will not let you fall. You wanted to change, and he showed up. It was God answered prayer. He's going to set you free. Just come to church, man. If you'll just come to church and get filled with the Holy Ghost, he'll set you free.
That's right.
Just come, and he kept coming. He kept coming. Got set free. But you know what? People that would see him would put him down. Because I bring him drunk. Or I bring him wasted. And people treated him like he had leprosy. I said, it's okay, don't worry about it, brother. Don't worry about them.
Amen.
I love you.
That's right.
I believe in you. It's okay, people. That people get religious. They don't understand. They don't purposely want. They don't understand. He just kept coming because he believed. And I just kept loving him where he was at. Set him free. And look at it. We must keep our eyes fixed on Jesus and not our eyes fixed on man. Because man will let you down. People get offended sometimes with some of the things I say or some of the things I do because they're putting their eyes on man, because they look up to me.
That's right.
And so as a believer, or if you're a leader, you have to watch carefully.
That's right.
Because people look at you, especially if you're a leader.
Amen.
And so it's so important to watch your testimony. It's so important to walk this walk, not because you have to. It's because you love God. And because God gives you the grace and the ability to lay hands and to love people no matter where they're at. Because somebody believed in you. Because of Jesus, you're not going to hell. How about that person? The world's not the one that's persecuting us. It's the church.
Right.
It's the religious people that persecute us.
Amen.
That's right.
That's right.
keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, man.
Amen.
Let's compare ourselves to Jesus.
Amen.
I don't compare myself to man. I compare myself to Jesus. And every time I get closer and closer to him, the more I go, God, thank you so much.
Amen.
Because I realize I could have never done it without